I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the mountain, and the love we share, but we tarry there. The love of God discloses, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the love we share as we tarry there, no other has ever known. Well, hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Tuesday, June 3rd at around 4 in the afternoon Eastern Daylight Time. That song the snippet of the song I just sang is from the last hymn we sang at this fellow's funeral I went to today. No, I didn't read. My judge buddy did both readings, and he was just magnificent as he always is. So that was good, and we did the authorized version of the King James, the King James version of the 23rd Psalm. Now, I have to say, the 23rd Psalm's never been one of my particular favorites. I don't dislike it, but I think largely it's because I think it's been massively overused. But having said that, if you're going to use it, it's nice to use that version rather than some of these newer, more modern versions. Oh, let's lose all sense of rhythm and language and beauty. Oh, that's good. Let's destroy something because we want to make it new. Well, enough about that. You've heard me yammer on about that for quite some time. We did use the Apostles' Creed, so you don't get to hear me yammer on about that again today. Also, our rector Charles did not give the sermon. We had our assisting priest Karen give the sermon, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to move her up in the ranking. I mean, way up in the ranking. She's good, but I'd never heard her give a funeral sermon before, and she by far was the absolute best I've ever heard at this particular genre. So the essence being that there's a new life out there for us. Plus, we did one of my very favorite. They did one of the very favorite readings, the Revelation 21 reading. I am the Alpha and Omega. Well, there's two sections in Revelation where it says I am the Alpha and Omega, but this is the one toward in the last chapter, final chapter. After the heavenly city, Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem comes down from heaven. No more tears. Light perpetual. So it was a good service. I got to sit and not have to stomp around, march around, stand up. I had to stand up because you stand up a lot in our services, but which really discombobulated a lot of the Methodists because apparently, for some reason, I guess some of these guys, this man's boys and girls, or boys and girl, went to Methodist churches. So, after they'd go to the 8 o'clock service here at St. Peter's, and then they'd go over to the Methodist church and go to church. And, so, we had probably about 15, 20 people from our church there, and then the other maybe 50 or so people were from his Methodist church. Well, and then some people in town, because I guess this guy was busy in civic affairs. And, the judge buddy and I were talking about after the service. He said, "Did you know this man at all? Did you know Dick at all?" And I said, "No, I knew who he was. I saw him when I go to the 8 o'clock service. I saw him." So then he filled me in a bit, largely relating to the fact that his great grandfather, would have to be his great grandfather. Well, maybe just his grandfather was Major General Logan in the Union Army, who also then after the war became, commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, and he's the one that decreed that May 30th was to be known as Decoration Day, and I think that happened somewhere in the late 1870s, early 1880s. So that was Dick Logan's connection to, historical past. So that went well. It started at 11. Out of there by 12. I'll tell you, I don't know how these guys managed to time this stuff to almost a minute, but before that, I had left early because I wanted to go do some shopping. I went to Walmart. I bought some of these, over the counter, sort of health aids. Let's call it older guy health aids. How's that? And not appliances, just things you take by mouth. And then I went and I bought a pair of shoes. Well, they're purported to be shoes. They're made in communist China. They didn't really have the, you have this sort of row of things. Well, I wear a size 9. Well, I think probably about 70% of American men wear size 9. So there was really only one size 9 there that looked at anything I could wear. But I can almost wear a low-cut shoe again without worrying about my ankles flopping over. Of course, I can't walk out in unpaved ground wearing a low-cut shoe, because I would indeed, these things would flop over in a moment, and I'd be back to square one in terms of having to limp around and crip around. I'm, by the grace of God, I haven't had to do that for a number of years. So that was like $30 for the shoes, quote shoes unquote, and now I bought some underwear. Well, the problem with this underwear might be the fact that it's called new and improved. I don't want new and improved underwear. I want the underwear that I've worn for years. Don't horse with, don't new and improve something that doesn't need to be changed. That's like Apple now is going to bring out this OS X Yosemite, which I guess will be 10.10.1, and sometime in the fall. And why their current operating system works just fine. In fact, it works better than any of the others that I've had on mine. I started out with the original Mountain Lion 10.81. Now I'm up to 10.9.3. But I can't for the life of me think why they need to do something different with we shall see. I don't know. I may hold off installing this for a while come fall, but we'll see. That's in the fall, isn't it? Okay, let's see. So, then I actually did some shopping. I bought, some olives and tomatoes and, what else did I buy? I bought olives and tomatoes. Well, and there was some other canned item I had to buy, stock up on. So that was my shopping. Well, so then after that, I went to the post office and then went to the church service. So for me that's a full morning, guys. Meanwhile, I've been checking on our little buddy that's on his way out to Australia, and now I was wrong. UPS said, I thought they'd said it was going to arrive, at the end of the business day today, June 3rd, Tuesday, our time. Eastern time. But I looked at the paper. Basically, I looked at the sheet of paper and I saw what I wanted to see. It actually says June 10th, next Tuesday, at the end of business day. But the thing left Louisville at 3 o'clock this morning, and it just now arrived in Honolulu. That's 3 o'clock this morning, our time, Eastern time, and then it arrived in Honolulu at a little after 6 o'clock in the evening. Local time, Hawaii time. So I can't imagine that it's going to take an additional, say, 10 days or 9 days to get from Honolulu down to Sydney, Australia. So, I think maybe these guys gave me sort of a cover, a CYA, cover my ass date, cover your ass date when they told me, when to expect it to arrive. So I'll keep following this little guy around the Pacific here until it finally gets to these guys in Australia that I'm sending it to. Hell, for $93, you'd think it ought to get there, sooner than 12 days. Come on. Well, so it's been very pleasant. It's very pleasant. Now we've had a couple of heavy rain showers off and on, but that things seem to have dried out now. Actually, it's not as humid as it was here just about 3 hours ago, so it's very nice to be out. I was in sort of trying to catch up on my YouTube. I've got this tremendous backlog of guys I like to look at and listen to, and but I've been sort of tied up with some other matters, and Paul was in there. He was intermittently falling asleep while he was watching his stuff. So he's off today. He's off. He's going to be off on Friday again too. So he was off today. He's going to work 2 days, and then Wednesday, Thursday, then be off Friday. So that's about it. Well, bye-bye, YouTubers.